2022. The leader was false imprisonment and revenge porn in DeKalb followers. He was the reincarnation of God, and as former members came, another story emerged. A story about a narcissist with a desire for power whose teachings led his followers only to suffering and abuse. This case follows people who believed in someone so entirely that they followed him even as he descended further and further into the dark. This is the story of the rise and fall of Carbon Nation. Welcome to The Worst of Us. The story of Carbon Nation has long and intertwines many lives. When researching the group, it's tempting to jump into the story at the foundation of the cult and outlandish criminal behavior of its leader. However, to properly understand how things would eventually get so extreme, disturbing, and bizarre.
So if you lack melanin, you genetically. I'm breastfeed. That's how I heal myself. I'm naked with my kids. I have sex in front of my kids. Don't you have your could you find some idiots online to pay you to do this to them?
Always belongs to the three, and I will have my way with you as I see fit.
Why don't you just let me go? Why don't you just kill me already? Oh, leave.
Come on, son. The fuck wrong with this bitch, man? Huh? What? You get your like that. Hey, man. You get just the best.
We have to begin with the story of one man. Bishop was born on the 29th of April 19 in Harlem. His parents would have was only young from an overdose and his father from a heart condition, which led to him and his brother the system as children. Eligio would later detail being abused around this when he was only 6 years old.
I pretty much, was humping on the other kids in the foster home, just to get my rocks off or just to feel something. You know what I'm saying? And he caught me one day. Mr. Pope, I separated from my foster father. He caught me. Basically, the dude just made me do acts with another boy that I was already humping on anyway.
Around age 11 or 12, Eligio and his brother were adopted in New Jersey by the bishop. Eligio later claimed that this was for financial reasons and described consistent abuse at the hands of Miss Bishop.
She said we was emotionally disturbed person on written that she could get paid for too. So it was a hustle for her. Getting kids was a hustle for her. You feel me? She didn't adopt us for any good reasons.
This lady got an extension cord. I wrapped it around her hand. And she said, hold out your hands. And I was like, so she started with it. My whole hand. And she just came.
In his tears, Eligio described how he became Miss Bishop, and after he became resistant to any authority.
Once I stuck up to her, once I stuck up to this lady, no one can tell me at all. Like, nothing. At all. No one could tell me anything at all. Fuck it, I'm wilding out. Like, the police can't tell me nothing. I was wilding on the police. I was, like, fighting police. I was wild. Like, I was, at this point, broke something in me, and it just, like, I was rebellious to any kind of authority. I was like, fuck that.
It is worth noting here that abuse is the defining feature of Eligio Bishop's early life, potentially instructive for his later behavior. The intergenerational psyche is a pattern whereby they become abusive themselves in life, linking abuse behavior to feelings of power, inadequacy, insecurity, or grandiosity. Although it is certainly not always the case, and many people are able to break this cycle, it seems entirely plausible that Eligio's early victimization could have led to the abuse he would go on to perpetrate later in life. Around age 13, Eligio had fought with a bad crowd and ended up in James Juvenile Jail.
And from there, I went to Jamesburg. Jamesburg was a prison for boys. And in James, a lot of fights. I think I died. I got jumped by 20 Latin Kings.
Now known as New Jersey Training School, Jamesburg is an infamous juvenile detention center for boys described as a House of Horrors and Hell on Earth, which has faced calls for its closure due to its appalling conditions and stigmatization of underage people as criminals. Eligio would spend the next years of his life in Jamesburg, being transferred to maximum security prison when he was 16 years old and only re-entering the population aged 19, having been incarcerated since 13. He claims that he trained with the Marines following his release.
I went to the Army. I went in Fort Knox, Kentucky, in the middle of the winter. Train's crazy. Basic training with the Marines.
The next phase of Eligio Bishop's life involved living off women he was dating, as he described how he was homeless but would use his ships to help him get back on his feet.
My sister kicked me out, started getting into arguments with my sister, so I was sleeping in the bush. I was sleeping outside in the woods. But I always had, even when I was broke, I always had a whole bunch of women. Like, I was the dude that was like, yo, Lee, where the bitches at? He's always coming like, yo, Lee, where the bitches at?
He moved to Atlanta, where he would eventually be introduced to erotic dancing and ultimately male escorting and pornography.
I became a gay male stripper, just a stripper. But then I started dancing with women, and the women would pay you, but they didn't pay you like the guys did. So I like dancing for women because it got me a lot of attention from like paying me to have sex with them. I was a chick. Like, I would do massages and a male escort. I was a male escort for guys. And like, I would jack off or do all that stuff. Like, for me, like, I was gay for pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was that world. I made a lot of money. They showed me like a video. I was young. I didn't know about the internet. He didn't pay me no fucking $50. He paid me $2,000 to do that scene. And it's a gay scene that's going around with me. I'm doing an exam with a doctor. You feel me? And at the time, like, it was a hustle for me, so I didn't really care. And so he wanted to jerk me off. You know what I'm saying? And do a rectal exam and all that. So I didn't know that the internet was going to be this big now. Like, I didn't know that they was going to catch that and be like, oh, yeah.
There are also records being arrested for forcible entry and driving without a license between 2009 and 2012. And in 2013. Significant that Bishop's life as a young man defined by transactional sexual relationships, where he benefited financially from his romantic partners and his clients as a dancer and escort. It seems plausible that years of these types of relationships could have influenced his later behaviors of sexualizing and financially exploiting the member of his cult. After sex industry, Bishop became a claiming to be so successful that he ended up cutting hair for celebrities on The Monique Show and opening his own salon in 2014.
I wound up being very successful as a mobile bar, meeting all kind of people. I actually went on a Monique Show, cut hair for her, and I started cutting hair for celebrities.
It is worth disclosing that this first chapter is built almost entirely from Eligio Bishop's own words, and there is very little to substantiate his claims. It's not to say that everything Bishop said exaggerated, but just stating it as outrightly factual without mentioning the bias of the source would be responsible. Links to the full compilation discussed are provided in the description. For the 2 years, Eligio would experience a spiritual transition, describing how he gave away all his material things and began to form the beliefs he would eventually preach to his following.
I was falling asleep and my eyes opened. It's the only thing I was laying in the bed, but another set of eyes opened, and basically I was standing up in another realm. It was like more real than this realm, and I was slipping into different realities. I was in a hospital bed, then I was in another realm where I was balled up into a ball, and everything was upside down. This is when everything started because I just knew stop taking showers. I gave the barber shop with cars away. I gave all that I owned away. I'm a philosopher. I am a spiritual being. I'm a spiritual. That's what I am, and I knew I was because it's the only thing that made me happy.
Following the launch of Facebook Live in 2016, a Fletcher boy would begin to preach his views for the very first time. This was the group that would eventually become Carbon Nation, as Bishop attracted lost souls into his following with the promise of enlightenment, and they ran away to live by his beliefs as Melanation. In 2018, Bishop left Honduras, urging people to let him be their guide out of the hell realm. This would be the establishment of Melanation, the first iteration of its cult. Melanation came from melanin and held belief people with more melanin and darker skin were superior to those with less. They believed that modern society, which they refer to as Babylon, was damaging, and that people should break away and live in become spiritually elevated. Anachronism, nudity, polygamy, from bathing, and defecating on trees.
I really don't like using toilets. Like,
What is the thing you hate so much about the toilet?
the soil on trees, and I'm in an abusive relationship with the tree if I'm not giving it back.
Erica Carroll, known as Blueprint, was an early follower of melanation and would later describe the verbal and mental abuse during this period, ultimately leaving the group after witnessing Bishop physically assault his then-girlfriend.
Group mission, Carol says it was led by Eligio Bishop, who went by Nature Boy. She says all 9 of them were forced to sleep in tents, use restrooms outside, and attend long meetings to, quote, face your demons.
It was a lot of verbal and mental abuse.
But after 1 year, what got her to leave was when she says she witnessed Bishop hit his girlfriend at the time.
He punched her a couple of times, and then he told her to go in the tent and give him over. It was the breaking point for me.
Erica's account shows us that, as early as 2016, abuse was baked into the foundation of Eligio Bishop's cult. It is worth noting at this point that every former member of the group, including Erica, would later describe in interviews that there were meaning or guidance in melanation.
It was just in a place in my life where I was just searching for some spiritual truth.
Not really having a parental figure as a father guiding me in the right direction made me go towards men to get guidance from them.
I ran from myself. I let the fear of not knowing what I was gonna do with my life cause me to make an impulsive decision.
I had an identity problem at that time, and I needed something to attach to.
This shows us how a false prophet can thrive by claiming to have all the answers when people have uncertainties or insecurities about their own lives. It is also a potential reason Bishop would be so effective in attracting people who would put up with his abuse. Someone who is viewed as being in a position is less likely called out for behavior, and every person who joined the cult would be convinced Bishop was a leader who had answers to their problems. Over the next few years, the group were traveling out Central America, Mexico, and the Caribbean, visiting Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Belize, and Panama, as well as Mexico. Reporter Ben Zand would visit Costa Rica when they were settled there to search for Nature Boy and melanation. Even at this early stage, there were people speaking out about the dark side of Nature Boy, and Ben was able to talk to former members about their experiences with the cult leader.
Could you just tell me a bit about what was it like?
Everyone goes to sleep at the same time. Like, when I was there, we was all sleeping in one room, and, you know, if Nature Boy not done talking or done doing this, then we don't go to sleep. They see father, you know, they see him as like a master. You know, you don't disrespect teacher.
Is it a cult?
It is.
Ben was also able to speak with active melanation members about their leader.
What's Nature Boy like? Because he's quite the character, isn't he?
Yeah, when I watched the video, I felt like I need to be with them. I messaged Nature Boy this exact same day. I was with melanation within like 2 weeks.
Honestly, of watching the first video, wow. What were your family saying at this point?
I mean, I don't really consider them my family. I don't really talk to them much. The only one I really talk to sometimes is like blood mother, and she has never really been like uplifting. Most of us have been through a lot of darkness.
Obviously, with all the coverage that came from you, that's when the kind of idea of it being a cult came out. What do you think of that? People saying it's a cult.
I think that Canada is a cult, like the U.S. is a cult. Everyone is a part of a cult.
The coverage Ben mentions refers to an incident in February of 2017, where the young woman being interviewed here put the group in for the first time when she was missing, and then spotted in a melanation live stream.
This hardware that you are now looking at, this hardware is a mutation hardware from the archetype.
Her name is Kayla Reed, and she had made her way to Costa Rica from Canada to be with the group, who renamed her Sunray. Following the publication of this story, Kayla was contacted and had 2 strange conversations with her aunt and mother, where both women described hearing Eligio more or less telling Kayla what to say in the background. This invited media scrutiny about the nature of this group, whether it was a cult and if its members were being manipulated. This was obviously unsettling for Bishop, who gave an interview to CBC in March to assure everyone that Kayla was
We are in our own bodies. That's what the earth is. Light, we are inside of our own body, each individual holographically. Go ahead.
I want to talk about the girl that we know as Kayla now. How is she? Is she safe?
I know Kayla.
Sun-
Sunray, yes, she is healthy. Sunray is just, she is the happiest that, she says she's ever been.
His interest failed to calm the media interest in the group, and the next day, Kayla posted a video saying she was coming home from Costa Rica.
So, yeah, I'm going back to Canada because of the safety of us. I don't want anybody getting hurt because I'm hurt. So I'm gonna go back there for now until I get things straightened out.
Interesting, because we see the manipulation of Kayla by Eligio, as he encourages her to say exactly what he wants her to say to clear his name, as well as telling her to ignore negative comments, which are presumably saying she's being manipulated.
So why did you leave in the first place?
We can't own.
Why did you leave? Why don't you tell them why you left in the first place? Did I call you like, hey, come join us, be here with us? Am I controlling or manipulating?
No, I was gonna leave Canada before I found nature.
Don't worry about it. Read those. Because these, a lot of people are sick. They're seeing things from their perspective in life, and we can't allow our worlds to be and our perspectives to be effective perspective. We have to keep a healthy perspective. That's their perception. Be very keen, and that's exactly why this is happening, because the media has stalked us day and night.
Over the next year, would search for a new place, being refused flight at the end of 2017. Overwhelmingly bad body odor that was disturbing other passengers. Bishop would go live claiming that this was racist discrimination rather than the natural outcome of members not washing for over a year.
Because he said we stink. Nobody stinks. Basically, you're too black, and too many of us together with our hair like this. This is illegal. This is illegal. What just happened is illegal. So basically, our money is no good with Spirit Airlines because we're black. It's discriminating against black people because they don't like our hair, because our hair is roots. Because the way our hair grow, they're saying that we stink.
There would also be disturbing stories that emerged during this period. It was revealed that a member named Mama Dia, real name Magdalena Sevilla, died after not taking her heart medication, as the group did not believe in Western medicine. She can be seen talking about this in an old live stream.
The transition definitely. My health, I'm still okay, but I'm working on that, and I was taking medication from my heart, but I don't have that anymore. I've been grounded, eating the right on the B6 diet, so that has helped.
Years later, following the unraveling of the cult, former members would describe Eligio's reaction to this tragic event, and how there had been no research or questions about Mama Dia's health when she showed up to join the group.
When y'all go there and see her and you look at Nature Boy and saying, what are we going to do now? What is he going to do? Like, what
he didn't do anything. He completely passed the buck. Like, he wanted to know what Solar was going to do.
The way that, Mama Dia thing went down and such like that, I hold myself accountable because there was no extensive research or extensive questions asked about her health. You know what I'm saying?
Mama Dia emerged as a beautiful person who cared for one of Eligio's wives, Velvet. Whilst he was Velvet would later open up about this in an interview.
Mama Dia was the most person I ever met in my entire life. She came in at a very physically abused. Mama Dia would come to me with towels. She would come to me with clean linen. She would come to me with my food. She would come to me to conversate with me. I had no idea that she was going through what she was going through.
Velvet was Eligio's main wife throughout the early years of the cult. In this same interview, she described just some of the abuse that she suffered at his hands.
He abused me. He physically abused me to a small degree. And I was like, you ain't gonna hit me, period. Like, so I'm fighting him. Like, we fighting. But now he's choking me out because he need to get me to stop trying to fight him back. Now he's like trying to exile me from existence because I'm trying to fight him back. I'm like, okay, how can I not be where I'm gonna get strangled and not? So it always turned into me doing what he want to do, but I could never get. It will always be physical, and then ending in him choking me out and blacking out and waking up and being like, I still don't have my documentation. I'm 5 months pregnant now. I'm 6 months pregnant. I'm 7 months pregnant now. Still don't have my documentation. I'm 7 months pregnant now. I'm 8 months pregnant. I'm having a baby now. I still don't have my documentation. How the fuck I'm gonna get out of it? How I'm gonna leave? Still also while not wanting to do the things that he wanted me to do. So I'll just back down and be like, you know what? F everybody. I don't care. But my body is shut down. So he's angry with me because I perform. So he's forcing me at this point with the women, without the women. And I'm sitting there like, I want to leave.
Velvet and other female four members would also describe the pattern by which they were groomed for sex with Bishop. Female members would be brought into Melanation as a love interest for another male member, and eventually end up sleeping with Eligio after he so distant their original relationship.
The relationship with me and Olmec got really sticky because Nature Boy will both of us to the side and tell Olmec one thing and tell me one thing.
So that's what the men in Carbonation would do. They would pursue the women, get them in. When they Nature Boy takes them.
It seems that Eligio found gratification in taking women from the men in the group, exerting his control and dominance over them. Then in turn, his relationships with the women would be abusive and toxic, as he exerted dominance over them as well. Throughout this story, we see that Elio Bishop's cult is about control, not enlightenment. And as he molded his followers into sycophants that accepted his every word without, the views he preached to the world would become increasingly disturbing. The next clip is Nature Boy admitting to and justifying abuse, broadcast proud for people to follow. It is obviously disturbing. So advise to skip forward if you feel it would be true.
See, my kid, when I see my son, this is how I treat my son. We naked together. My son started being ashamed of his body. It happened. I didn't want that to happen. They made him a shit. They showed him that he was naked. I did not want him to know he was naked. I said, son, look here. I didn't even want to be in a world where he knew he was naked. I wanted my son to be so pure that he never knew he was naked. I take bath with my kids. I'm naked with my kids. I have sex in front of my kids. Shame of sex. My son be breastfeeding and I'll be making love to his mom. That's me, bruh. That's how I get down around kids. I keep their purity. I don't want to take their purity self up. They're going to be ashamed to cover themselves up. I'm pure at heart. So you can think in your mind, if I let another kid here, I'm going to have to change the way I am so that your kid can be comfortable around me. No, I'm going to be naked as fuck in front of your kids. My son comes up and grabs my penis. I let him grab this. I asked with his mom. I'm mother. After I'm done, I'm laying there chilling. He grabbed my penis and he's playing with my penis. I let that happen. I say, yeah, look, you got one too. And he laughing and the moment over. It's pure. And if I do that with somebody else's kids, and you see how people turned on me over here? You see how people turn on me? Bro, I'm real human. Yes, I'm with my son. My son gotta be, oh, daddy, don't cover up my son. We naked in front of each other. We not naked. This is clothes. What are you talking about? My son play with my kids. Say, yeah, one too. Their kids are, no, I don't want to hide shit from them. I make love right in front of them. I make love to their mama in front of them. Like a real man. That's how I get down, homie. That's just me. And if I did that around other people's kids, they would put me under the fucking jail. You can't be a real human. That's why I don't let nobody kids here but mine, homie. Because I ain't go to my life for no one. I walk around naked.
In 2020, having changed their name to Carbonation, the whole cult was arrested in Hawaii for breaking pandemic restrictions. And when deported back to the U.S., the group deported so many times eventually decide to resettle a communal home in DeKalb County, marking the end of the Melanation years. This transition from Melanation to Carbonation would be the beginning of a new phase for the group, where teaching was replaced by spectacle. Live streams became more unhinged, and next increasing levels of humiliation and abuse. Blindly following their leader as he spiraled further and further out of control, Carbonation returned to Babylon.
You are my woman. This is my earth.
I didn't say the same thing. I'm both of them niggas.
They mom, bro. They really think I'm God, bro, and I am God.
If it wasn't that, nigga, we have our foot on these hoes, nigga. We be throwing these hoes around, nigga.
It's gonna leave. It's because I'm in trouble with the bitch. It ain't that much mind control in the world, but you doing it to yourself at this point.
By the time Carbonation had returned to America, Eligio had adopted new names, including the Three God and Babaji. Although the cult retained some of his original messaging, this changed as well, with live streams throughout this period drifting away from Eligio's preaching views and becoming long, bizarre dialogues, where it's hard to imagine he has a message in mind.
They're just not answering.
That's what nigga playing with. This ain't no joke. Y'all niggas is goofies. I'm not a goofy, and you gonna realize that in a minute. Black men need to breastfeed. Black men need to breastfeed. That's all I was doing that for, to let y'all know. I breastfeed. That's how I heal myself. Breast milk, nigga.
I'm the man. I'm God. I was here before the white man. They could kill me right now, but they'll kiss my ass.
One feature of Carbonation live streams is call and response phrases, where Legio will say something and the cult will reply in chorus.
Pyramid. 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 I agree.
I see at 3. 3 3.
Mine. 1 3. Mine. 1 3. One self. One mind. One self. One mind. Unity.
Outstanding.
I stand out. I stand out. I see at 3. I agree. I see at 3.
This seems to be yet another way for Legio to dominate his followers, as they are programmed to hang on to every word and respond if called upon. Eligio also dominated the group, punishing them if they broke rules that he set for the group. Former member Janae, known as Natiri in the group, describes in this interview how members were made to stand in a corner, sometimes for hours, and would be punished further if they fell asleep.
The corner is actually going in a corner, staring at it for 2 hours or more, depending on how he wants to punish you that day, and just being there. You're not able to move. You're supposed to sit silent, stand silent, stand on your feet for 2 hours looking at the wall.
Can you sleep? I mean, can you doze off?
And if you doze, you can't doze off. Some people would.
Janae also described how the rules of cult would change during this time, depending on how Eligio was feeling, making it impossible for enters to avoid breaking them.
No, he would change the rules. He would be up and down. He would take the rules away and put new in, whatever he saw fit at the time. At one time, we couldn't smoke weed. After he smokes weed, everyone can see.
As she is instrumental in the next chapter of the story. Arbitrary rule-making is a pattern often displayed by narcissists, where they will invent or change a rule without informing someone, and then punish them for breaking it. It is thought to come from a sense of grandiosity. The narcissist believes they know better, trying to control. Eligio fits this description during this period, as he had a god complex, reinforced daily by the people around him. His control of his fall began to escalate tension between women in the group during live streams, seeming to enjoy the grip he had on them.
Smack. No, smack on. Fuck playing. Just get your motherfucker sit down.
Really about to let it go till y'all get tired. What's up? After her birthday up. What's up?
I'm trying to see.
What's up?
Why you keep disrespecting Baba G?
Why you keep hitting me? Why you keep being ungrateful?
It's because you trigger me. You
I don't give a fuck.
fuck.
Why you keep being ungrateful every day?
Look at yourself. Baba G not your enemy. When you treat him like one, this was going on.
For many years, Malia, Bishop would select to be his wife and the primary target of his abuse, after Velvet managed to escape the cult in this period. Bishop was always misogynistic, consistently displaying an entitlement to prestige and personal relationships, but having lost his grip on Velvet, it seems he escalated efforts to break Malia down, humiliate her, and keep her under his control. This abuse is difficult to watch, so please skip this section if you feel it will be a pain for you.
You're ungrateful, hoe. Don't nobody owe you shit. Don't nobody owe you shit, Malia. You got to work in real life. You're not that beautiful. That ain't gonna bag on you. You're not that bad. You're just not. But it ain't about to bag on you. You're not that bad, Malia. You really not that bad. You really not that bad. And you, like your position you're in, you're a bad bitch. So stop. You need special attention and act like the rest of these hoes and be grateful that you're here because they're very, very grateful. See the attitude on her face?
What? Stay with me.
That was a good one, Zoga. That was a good one. Slap a bit. This is about you, ho. This is about me rubbing my toes and sucking on my toes. They say it's abuse, but please leave. Can she please just leave me alone then? It's abuse, but she won't leave. It's because, oh, it's mind control. It ain't that much mind control in the world. Yourself,
At the time, Malia is still a nation. It is worth noting here that despite Bishop's consistent rotation of wives, allegations about his sex
Insensitive to so many people. World peace. I'm gonna be like, you doing that nigga? And then I'm gonna get dick off. It is the LGBT community that will show you how to worship me.
And I watched him pull out the phone, camera on it, and I know he's on with the guy. Nobody else don't see this?
Former members would disclose that toward the end of Carbonation, Eligio was leaning more into pansexuality.
Question was, did they really want to train on the trainer?
Yes, they really ran.
Tongue twister like a motherfucker.
All right, so he would invite transsexuals over, and then the men in the room. He had men with the transsexual woman, and had the transsexual woman them up or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Eligio's sexuality is, of course, irrelevant to his character. Former members the repression of these feelings, what hatred of women.
I think I see the similarity with P. Diddy and Eligio and R. Kelly because I feel like they all hate women. I feel like they all hate women and they hide behind women because they cannot accept their sexuality of who they really are.
As Bishop continued to unravel, his abuse extended beyond his romantic partners to the other members of his cult. Live streams from this period showed the world some of the physical and psychological abuse he was subjecting his followers to.
You ask for a strawberry? Bitch, ask for a strawberry.
So much.
Don't you ever in your motherfucking life give me the motherfucking strawberry unless I ask for one, motherfucker. I made this phone and I made you. Ever disrespect God. Smack that. Don't you ever disrespect me, man.
The black man is God. Arms to the side. Black man, I apologize to you for being a bitch. Could you find some idiots online to pay you to do this? I bet you could. We got some weakness online money that will give you money to humiliate the public. Can you do it? If you can, let me know.
There was increasing concern online for the safety of the members of Carbonation, worries that if this monster continued to escalate the level of abuse toward his followers, it was only a matter of time before something truly terrible happened. And then, in March of 2022, it did. Remember Janae? Well, on the 23rd of March 2022, she had finally decided to leave, reprimanded by Eligio for being too friendly with guests, and he would tell female members to hit her in the ensuing confrontation. Janae would later describe in an interview how Eligio was abusing her as she tried to leave, thinking that she was the issue, so he would stay to make amends.
Before I was like down, F comes in and hits me in the head and pushes me back. She would start saying something, and I smirk her because she would have never like that if it was one-on-one. And that's when Zoka smacked the daylight out of me. And whenever you try to leave Carbonation, they're going to make sure that you know that it's your fault and you're at fault. And you're for leaving, and it's hell out there, and you're going to go nowhere. And there's this point when my stuff is packed up and I'm on my knees in front of Baba G. He's telling me that I'm used up. No one's going to want me. I've been passed around. I'm a pass around. All these demonic from my face, and I'm just taking it.
After she went backside to say goodbye, she described how Eligio grabbed her hand and took her into another room, refusing to let her leave without sleeping with him one last time. Janae repeatedly refused Eligio, but eventually did. Later, she felt powerless at this moment. Janae also talked about this in an interview, and although there is, of course, no graphic detail here, viewers are still advised to support if you feel her testimony may be troubling for you.
That's when he's taking me to the other room. I said, no, stop. Like, I really got to go at this point. Like, then my Uber is outside. So he takes me into the other room, and I start crying in his arms. I don't know, everything was just like on me. The Uber done left me, so I felt like I was trapped there again. And I was like, oh my God, like, I just missed the Uber. Like, and like, he's telling me, I'm not gonna let you go. You know, you're my bitch, you're my property. I didn't want to like resist him. I didn't want to like, you know, because any of that, because it was just, if I felt resist him and I already done, the Uber done left. And my friend is calling me like back to back, asking me if I'm okay. And I'm just like,
being a past, like letting him manipulate me back into a situation and allowing him to have sex with me. So at this point, I was like, oh my God, I'm stupid as I'm a sucker for fucking love. Like, he knows exactly what to do to get me back. And at this point, in my mind, afterwards, I'm telling him I still want to go. And he's like, shut up. You my bitch. Like, you're not going nowhere. You're my bitch. I'm over that shit. Like, you wasting time.
It is worth noting here that Janae is just allowing Eligio to have sex with her in this interview would be labeled as proof by Eligio's followers that she fabricated rape allegations against him, despite her describing how she asked him to stop in this same section of the interview. The law states that consent given under pressure is not consent. It must be given freely, and this was clearly not the case here. The group's attempts to discredit Janae only served to show how deeply they were at this time, choosing to defend a rapist rather than consider they might be wrong about their leader. Janae escaped later that night. Eligio did explicit videos of them on social media in an effort to even after she had left. Janae described in Eligio how this humiliation almost made her return to Bold.
And it just made me feel like I was nothing. It made me feel like I had to go back. You know, that's how bad the manipulation is, and that's when I started to study. When I felt, after seeing the revenge porn, I'm like, oh my God, like, for a second, I don't have to go back because I don't know where else I'm gonna go. No one's gonna want me. He has this online, it's everywhere. Everybody's thinking I'm going back. I felt a pull trying to pull me back. And when I went to the authorities, I was basically fighting for my life. I didn't know what to do but to say something like, please help me. This man is doing this to me, you know?
2 days after assaulting Janae, Eligio went live.
All of you just belong to the three, and I will have my way with you. I'm not a man. I'm not a woman. I am God.
This absolutely unhinged, essentially Eligio flexing his control of his followers to the world.
There's no authority. There's no call to the place I will send you if you ever turn on me. Don't look at me, you f***ing imbeciles. Why are you looking at me? Down! Sit up. Oh, you feel my energy, don't you? You're under my will, you feel that? No, you're not high. You're under my will. I took the, look at these, this nothing, look at this regular f***ing get out of my presence, move! All of you, leave me, immediately. Make it snappy, you got 3 seconds, out the room now, immediately, out! 1, 2, 3!
It seems plausible that Eligio is demonstrating his grip on his remaining followers in an effort to repair his ego, which would have been damaged by Janae. Janae with the assault to the police, and on the 13th of April 2022, Eligio Bishop was arrested following a raid on the Carbon Nation house in DeKalb County. He was charged with rape, false imprisonment, and revenge porn relating to his treatment of Janae. In the 2 years between Eligio's trial, members of Carbon Nation showed loyalty to their leader by proclaiming his innocence on any platform they could find.
He's extremely loving, extremely forgiving. Literally wouldn't hurt a fly. This is one of the most troubling experiences I ever had. The man that most people refer to as Nature Boy, I refer to him as God. I believe that he is God.
As previously mentioned, it was particularly disappointing to see the attempt to discredit. Members tried to paint her as a bitter lover of Eligio's and parroted his own misogyny in defense of their
How you going to prostitute? We don't even get her energy. Those
Black women are being used as a catalyst to a lot of black, especially when they're
the Nature Boy being 22nd of 24, and it was as you might expect by this point in the story. Eligio's defense tried to paint Janae's lover. Eligio's abused followers by calling active cult men to speak out on their leader's behalf. One member was thrown out of court during testimony, claiming that Eligio was being maliciously prosecuted.
She just said.
You know what? He just lost his right to stay in the courtroom.
Another member tried to say that Eligio making girls slap Janae was not abusive, but simply to emulate the Will Smith-Chris Rock slap at the 2022 Oscars. Prosecutors pointed out that the Will Smith slap took place on the 27th of March after the incident in question.
And you realize the Chris Rock was March 27th, right?
I'm not aware of that.
So it was after this incident occurred.
The prosecution called on more members, including to testify about their experience in car, each of whom painted a picture of a group of vulnerable people being routinely victimized by a narcissistic leader.
And how many times do you think you told no before you said okay? If you had to...
I don't, so many times, I couldn't count. He interrupts me and says, shut up. You're my You're not going anywhere.
And other things that I wouldn't consider quote unquote rules, but were not negotiable things in the was I had to have sex with nature or have some type of sexual fantasy with him. And a lot of times women would be forced and not consensual.
As a quick aside, this expert analysis of these victims' statements in this court TV coverage made for pretty shocking viewing, with panelists showing a huge amount of apathy toward the victims and making sexist comments and jokes about the case.
She's saying it's non-negotiable. Most relationships aren't really negotiable. It's normally the woman who's holding you hostage. But she could have left if she wanted to.
Note to self: gotta get me a cult.
And the only way for Al to get a date is to get a cult.
Oh, I'm getting called. I am gonna get called, but I'm gonna be known as Sensation Al.
Is this the R. Kelly trial all over again? Is this Atlanta Housewives? Maybe the show.
Wait, R. Kelly got convicted, right?
Yeah. So
okay, so that was a crime.
Yeah. The attitude on display here actually shows how incredibly dismissing society can towards rape as a crime. According to data from the American Medical Association, rape is an violent crime, and a low number of cases will end conviction. This is partially due to the fact that the dismissive attitude we see from members of this panel permeates society, leading to victims feeling they won't be taken seriously if they come forward, and no legal punishment will ultimately be inflicted on their abuser. With this in mind, whatever their opinions on these specific victims' testimony, it feels incredibly damaging to see a panel of supposed experts analyze a sexual assault case in such an unserious manner. And it is surprising that this was uploaded to the Court TV YouTube channel and remains there at the time of writing. The court heard audio of Eligio's 2022 arrest interview, where he defends his actions by describing himself as a and saying the revenge porn was filmed for educational purposes.
Why would I rape a girl? I'm a ladies' man. I like 5-6 women. I'm a girl for. They come to me.
Why would anybody accuse you of that?
Because they mad. I have a video showing how we did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she's incomplete. She's like literally going through the spiritual journey. It's spiritual video, like showing that vagina. Like, it was really like the edge thing, right? So I had the whole footage, like literally, like, and when she left, she was mad. And then she just flipped on me and said revenge porn. Because what happened was, on my Twitch, although she was like, oh, wow. So when she left, it was still, so she said, she didn't ask me, she didn't call me and say, can you take that down? Because we did that together, can you take it down? She didn't do that. She just said revenge porn. And I know it's my haters, you know what I'm saying? They literally do everything they can to
Eligio's behavior throughout the trial was predictably disrespectful. He was reprimanded for recording the following Instagram Live from jail after a day in court.
So the judge caught COVID. She tested positive for COVID. They don't want you to know that. They're trying to hide that. Out of all the cheating they did in this case, the judge tested positive for COVID. They don't say that on the news. They just try to hack her some kind of way so she won't be shown to have tested positive for COVID. Out of nowhere. See, you can cheat all you want with this man law, but at the end of the day, there's the laws of the universe. See, you're being corrupt, and it's the law of the universe, and this is what happened. She's positive for COVID. I tell my lawyer, this is when I know I'm getting railroaded, because I'm telling my lawyer, I'm saying, like, I don't want to go in there with her with COVID. They're already cheating on me. They're cheating in the case as it is. I don't want to go in there right now.
Eligio also tried to fire his lawyer during repeatedly arguing with the judge about her positive COVID test, seemingly thinking this was his way out of the trial.
The COVID issue has been resolved. The attorneys are fine going forward. The jurors are fine going forward. I'm wearing a mask. It's not an issue.
Is that on record?
Yes, everything's on the
I would like to fire my attorney and find new
Okay,
counsel.
that is not an option. Okay, you're not listening to me, Mr. Bishop. Those are the two options you have at this juncture, period. Nobody in the back can help you. Look at me. I'm talking to you. Two options. Proceed with Mr. Burr or proceed pro se and represent yourself, which is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea.
Why is it my only option?
That's the law, Mr. Bishop, period. That's the law.
So I'm not allowed to seek other counsel?
Not in the middle of trial, sir.
Even if I'm not being represented right?
Sir, that's ruling. Do not argue with me. Everything is on record, Mr. Bishop. Everything is on the record.
What about the COVID?
We've already discussed that, sir. You're trying everything you can to not go forward with this trial, but...
Because I'm not being treated fair.
Okay, you are entitled to your opinion, Mr. Bishop. I'm not going to argue with you, but we are moving forward with the trial. Do you want to stay in court proceedings, Mr. Bishop, and participate in this trial?
Participate?
Yes. Testify, not testify.
So whether I'm here or not, this is going to go.
Yes, correct. That is correct. You will represent yourself.
If I represent my not choose to be in the court, then who will represent?
Nobody.
Okay, I wanted to fire my attorney and not be in court.
Okay.
It's actually particularly interesting to watch Eligio struggle with not being in control of his surroundings. He clearly imagines himself the victim of a conspiracy, and for a misogynistic narcissist, it is hard to imagine a more distressing situation than a trial by a female judge, leading to his attempts to scramble for any little control he could exert over proceedings. It is also interesting to note that Eligio claims to be terrified about contracting COVID in 2024, when he was arrested for breaking pandemic restrictions in 2020 at the height of the virus. This is indication that his views can change depending on what suits his needs at any given moment. Eligio would ultimately refuse to be in the courtroom for his sentencing due to anxieties about COVID, exercising little control he had over his trial right up until the last moment. Victims gave impact statements detailing their experience in carbonation and Eligio's treatment of them. Each statement is beautifully delivered and powerful, and linked to the full sentencing hearing is in the description for anyone listening to more of them. Former member Kendra gave an incredibly powerful describing the abuse she had faced.
I would have never joined Carbonation in 2017 if I knew that in 2020 Bishop would order other women to beat me until I curled up in a fetal position in order to surrender. I would have never joined 2017 if I knew that I would be forced to watch as he beat a woman in front of all of us on the 4th of July of 2020 during a picnic in the park. I would have never if I knew that he would eventually separate other men from the women so that he could force every woman to have sex with him whether they wanted to or not. Every day, not knowing he would hurt that day, who he would order us to hurt that day. He often responded to any resistance with whipping them with a leather belt over and over while he laughed and made the rest of us watch. He would make us lay flat on our stomachs while he walked around in a rage, taunting us, degrading us, kicking us, and stomping us, beating us into submission. He said and that he could do anything he wanted. No one was coming to save us in these foreign countries. He said no one cared about black girls like us, not in America or anywhere else. If we told anyone we would be being disloyal, betraying the Christ, the Messiah, we would be going against God. In fact, we should be grateful that we get to be in his life. He said no one else loved us like he did. He said he loved to dominate us and the feeling of being able to hurt us or kill us at any moment. He said that if he killed us, we would know or care. So I pushed myself every day to stay on my best behavior in order to survive because my son needed a mother and I didn't know what I had. It took months for me to stop blaming myself for the abuse and assault. Apart from those in my life that truly loved me, I was able to finally stop protecting my abuser and speak up about what happened to me and so many other young people. It's a shame even young children were involved as well. And not safely. I willingly joined a destructive cycle, but in the end I learned that is exactly what it was. I, like so many others, wanted to make a positive impact in the world, not to be hurt, abused, and used, exploited by a bishop. So many people have prayed for this day where justice is finally being served. And I thank everyone who heard us and who saw us and who fought for our freedom.
Janae gave a statement addressing Eligio directly, telling him he would eventually have to accept his actions.
Mr. Bishop, Babaji, has been a monster to us all, and we tried to see the best in him. He has tortured all of our souls. Instead, he would send us to the abyss if we ever defied him. He made us believe that he was Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. That alone is punishable. I hope this opens his eyes, and I pray that the people who are there with him are set free themselves. Stop living in the illusion that this man has placed on our minds. Alivio, you made us to be liars when we lived in truth, wanted to live in truth. Alivio, you demolished our connection with God just so you can be God. And you haunted our dreams like the monster you are. You damaged us all. You confused us all. Alivio, you have atoning too. You were our guide. But now you're a prisoner, like you imprisoned us. Now you're a prisoner, like you imprisoned us. And I even now pray that prison on your soul. I hope for you. This time there's no escape, no running, no you're and sit there until you understand why you're there. No Leroy, no Dr. Bishop, not even Three God or Nature Boy will be there to save you. It's only you and God, the real God.
Throughout the victim's statements, Eligio can be seen smiling, laughing, and talking to the officers around him. And when the judge asked if he had any final words before sentencing, he chose to address his victims directly.
You just want to tell you the truth? For sure. At all times.
All right, what is it you'd like me to say?
I just want to say something to all.
Well,
I just want to say.
just direct it to me, please, not to.
I'll direct it to you. I'll direct it to you. Are you happy? Are you happy?
I'm not answering any questions of yours, Mr.
I forgive you. I forgive you, and I still love you. I forgive you, and I still love you. I got nothing in my heart. I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset with you. I forgive you. I want you. I still love you and forgive you. And kiss my baby girl and let her know I love her. And I love y'all. I will never. I promise you. You know how I am. You know how I am. I still love you. I still love you. I still love you. I still.
Okay.
No hate.
Is there anything
My
else?
heart light as a feather. I promise you I love you and I'm still here. I ain't miss one lick. I see what y'all doing and I want you to know I forgive you. And I see y'all in the end.
All right. Thank you.
I love you. I love you.
All right. I just muted the courtroom. We're done with that.
Eligio's disrespectful manner was addressed by the judge as she handed down her sentence, calling him a master manipulator and the definition of a narcissist, as she sentenced him to life in prison.
You know, I would have been inclined to exercise and had Mr. Bishop shown any remorse, guilt, or regret throughout this process. And I saw nothing during the trial but for him laughing and cutting up and looking shocked and surprised at all of the testimony. Mr. Bishop, you're a master manipulator and probably the classic definition of a narcissist that I've ever seen. I am going to follow the recommendation of the state in this case. So it's life without parole plus 10 years.
Over the next 2 years, members of Carbonation would start to come forward with tell-all interviews on their experience in the cult. These interviews were used for information video and are all interesting and insightful. They are linked in the description in researching the case further. In August of 2024, what appeared to be the remnants of Carbonation would be evicted from squatting in a house in DeKalb County.
You don't sell our souls, sir.
Huh?
Don't you sell your soul? You come talk to us.
In the same month, it was reported that Eligio had been hospitalized after a prison fight. His wives, who are a few of the last members still loyal to him, would respond to this and alive, putting on full display how they continue to be brainwashed to this day.
He was jumping. Four niggas jumped on him and stabbed him out of nowhere. Just stabbed, my nigga.
I'm tired of y'all playing in his face. Like He not God. You speaking of God. Hey. His spirit lives through us. His spirit lives through us, and we right here. We right here. We right here. Now you in there. Now you in there. I'm in there. I got nappy roots. I got nappy roots. I got coil that tight. The tighter the coil, the stronger the electromagnetic field. The stronger you are connected to source. The stronger you can communicate and talk to God. Come on, not no straight stringy hair. These charges on him, but they put him as a cult leader. Cult leader. Come on, now. Who is a cult leader? Is a cult leader. But Europeans do shit like that to become cult. We ain't no damn cult leader.
We can only hope that given time, these women will begin to realize the true nature of the man they follow. A false prophet is defined as a person who falsely claims the gift of prophecy or divine, or who makes such claims for evil ends. Eligio Bishop may have started his cult to inspire others, as he claims, but he ultimately ended up inflicting trauma on everyone around him, as he abandoned enlightenment for control and sexual gratification. All the base have elements of truth, and some of the early nation have their base in truth. The modern world can be brutal and condemning, and society is filled with inequality, making it easy to feel it could be better to live a simple life only hardship you're going through. Unfortunately, damaged people with this mindset were the perfect victims for Eligio Bishop's teachings and abuse. A man who, in his own words, experienced a complete lack of control throughout his childhood in the prison and foster care systems, and horrific abuse at the hands of his foster parents, only to perpetuate the cycle of abuse by controlling and abusing every person who followed him. We can only hope that all actions will be able to find comfort in his sentence, and knowing that he was, finally, held responsible for his actions. The Carbon Nation case teaches us to beware of false prophets in our own lives. We are bombarded on a daily basis by charlatans, claiming they have figured out to our happiness, putting some idea or product that will finally heal our pain, set us free, when, in truth, only we can do that. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to the channel for more true crime documentaries. Phenomenal and ongoing work in covering Carbon Nation. This video wouldn't have provided. So please check them out if you're interested in learning more about this case.